Hello, my name is Matthew Reitz, and today I will be giving a presentation on the Master Juba. Before I dive into talking about Master Juba, I would like to talk a little bit about minstrel shows. Minstrel shows were America's most popular form of entertainment from 1840 to 1900. They were performed originally by European Americans in blackface. African Americans were not allowed to be seen in minstrels till years later. European Americans condemned African-derived dance and yet preserved it to assure themselves the opportunity to watch it. African Americans watched their dances being stolen by European American minstrel dancers who wanted to present convincing slave dances. To the public, minstrel shows made African slaves less fearsome and slavery less horrific. In short terms, minstrel shows was a reflection of America's racism at that time. Blackface. The minstrel shows falsely presented the demeanor of African Americans as comical by using blackface. The stereotypical description of the facial features and body movements for 2 decades became fixed in the mind of the populace, and it continues to exist. Burnt coal mixed with an oil-based solution covered the face, avoiding the eyes and the lips. The eyes were painted to look larger, and the lips went far outside the natural lip line. The images, especially when drawn on sheet music and posters, were frequently grotesque. The lips and eyes were painted with white makeup. In some instances the lips were painted red, but in all instances it was still an attack on the African race. Now getting on to the Master Juba. Master Juba, formerly known by his slave name William Henry Lane, was the first free slave to join the minstrel shows. Juba was born a free man from Providence, Rhode Island. Juba was suggested from the African slave dance on the plantation. He competed in a series of challenges with the reigning Irish-American jig dancer John Diamond. Juba was not only a spectacular dancer and performer, but he was also an exceptional singer. In 1840, Juba earned the name of honor, King of all dancers. Juba was taught by a jig and reel dancer, Jim Lowe, and he also performed in dives, dance halls, and saloons in Manhattan's Five Points district. Juba joined the Ethiopian minstrels and was the only African American artist of that time to achieve such notability. Sadly, Juba died in London in 1852 at a young age of 27. Tap dance was the dance that Master Juba contributed to. His specialties were executed in a unique style and nobody could copy it. His manipulation of African rhythms and loose body style intertwined with jig and clog dancing created a special style of new dance. Consequently, the Irish jig and Juba dancing became intermixed into a hybrid Juba, which was Lane's specialty. Master Juba's fresh, rhythmic blend became one of the earliest forms of modern American tap dance. Tap dance. For those of you who don't know, tap dance is characterized by using the sounds of shoes striking the floor as a form of percussion, complemented with both characteristic and interpretive body movements. Tap is divided into 2 different styles, the hooving style and the theatrical or Broadway style. Hooving started and cultivated under the African American aesthetic with many of the general characteristics of African dance. The hooving style has withered the sands of time and is thriving to date. The Broadway style is influenced by the European American approach to the movement and contains the essence of major dance forms of ballet, modern, and jazz. The combined elements of African and European dance styles produce the overall essence of the dance form known as tap dance. The Irish mixed with the African slaves during heavy labor. As the slaves were given their freedom, the two lived alongside each other in the slums, so the natural exchange between the Irish step dances, like the jig and African Juba dances were inevitable. Again, tap is the product of African rhythmic movement qualities, Irish jig step dance, and the Lancashire English clog. And with all that being said, this concludes my presentation on the Master Juba. Thank you.